had a friend who was originally from Washington, D.C., came to work with me at FEMA in Denton, Texas, and said, we got to find a young professionals organization here in Dallas. And so she invited me to my first meeting of the Urban League of Greater Dallas Young Professionals. And actually, we were the Dallas Urban League Young Professionals at that point. And Dr. Brooks was there talking about the fact that we needed new leadership in the organization and the fact that she had to shut the organization down because they weren't performing in a way that she thought that they should. And so she was asking for a president. They had a vice president, they had a secretary and a treasurer, and she wanted applications for president. And she explained to us what the application process was going to be. And as I sat there, I knew that it was something that I could actually do and something that I could help to lead back into its glory, if you will, or take it to another level. Because I really felt like Dallas needed a young professionals organization, and I had never heard of it before, and I had been in Dallas at that point for about 12 years. And so I felt like I could help to bring awareness to it. And so I applied, and I went through the application with Dr. Brooks in the interview where she basically, I'm not going to say she ripped me a new one, but she basically said, if you don't come to the table with a vision for this organization, then I'm not going to put you forward to actually run. And so we had a couple of conversations, and she put me forward. I ran against a very formidable opponent and won, and I was able to just mobilize that chapter from 12 members to 130, 150 by the time that I left. And so it was a wonderful experience. I grew a lot as a result of that leadership training, that pledging of the Urban League of Greater Dallas, and so I'm excited to have had that experience. Brandy the leader. Someone came to me recently and said, I don't know if you are perceived as more of a leader or as more of a nurturer. And initially I took issue because I thought that because I was a mother that they were saying that I was giving a more motherly role to leadership, or I was coddling people and carrying them along. And then I thought about it, and I realized that you have to love people in order to be able to lead them effectively. And in order to really want to serve people, you have to understand them and have an affection for them. And so I think those two things together, that nurturing side and that ability to lead and have a vision for the future of an organization, is extremely important. I have been in leadership, fortunately or unfortunately, for most of my life. I mean, I've been in the leadership track and leadership programs from school all the way up. And so I really feel in this stage in my life, it's time for me to give some of that back. I've been able to benefit from a lot of leadership training, and it's just time for me to pay my dues and do my part in order to move this movement forward. And so that's why I continue to lead, and that's Brandy the leader. If I were stranded on a deserted island, I would have to have a book. And I would prefer that it's a book that never ends, but I know unless I had a Kindle that had, everlasting battery life, that might not be an actual possibility. What else would I need? I would need companionship. I would need somebody to talk to. I would need that. And a knife. A knife. Because I'm really handy. I do a lot of things. Like, I put things together. I try to kill myself with hammers and knives and screwdrivers and things like that. So I'm good with that. In my downtime, you can find me reading. You can find me blogging, writing about issues, constructing strategies. I know that might seem a little weird, but if I see a problem, then I'm trying to jot out in a pad how to fix it. So I always keep a notebook with me so that I can just jot things down. I love to dance. You may never see that, but I do. I do love to dance. And I love to have intelligent conversation with friends. I love to debate issues back and forth across the table. One word that describes me is purposeful. The reason why may be a little, I don't want to say mystical, but it's definitely taken me a journey to get to that point, because I understand that everything I do has a consequence. It definitely causes possibly other things to occur after what it is that I do. And so every step that I make now is extremely purposeful. I don't join an organization unless that organization aligns with my goals. I don't move forward on an initiative unless I believe that in the future that initiative is going to benefit other people or is going to help to change the world that we live in. And so my particular purpose is young professional advocacy. And so I live that. I walk in that purpose, and I don't really get deterred by other things. And so purposefully, I try to live my life. I want my YP legacy to be one of professional engagement within our organization. So I want people to be able to say that Brandy was just exemplified what young professionals are, and the fact that they are professional, and the fact that they are engaged in the issues that affect us as a demographic and that affect the National Urban League as a whole. And I want them to look back on my leadership in my term and say, Brandy gave us everything she possibly could to advance this organization forward. And if I've done that, if I've left it all on the table, then I don't have any regrets at the end of the day, and I feel like I have added value where I could to this national organization. My name is Brandy Richard, and I am empowered.